drumbeats of a new and free Africa. A continent that has risen from a dark past of colonialism, apartheid, and independence struggles. Exactly 50 years ago, on Saturday, the 25th of May, 1963, Africa's founding fathers from 30 independent states, inspired by the ideals of Pan-Africanism and the prospects of a united Africa, sat together in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and signed a charter establishing the Organization of African Unity, which later became the African Union.
I am happy to be here in Addis Ababa.
At the time, only 32 nations in this continent had gained independence. Others were still far from it. South Africa's anti-apartheid struggle only ended as late as 1990. Long after, in July 2011, South Sudan, the world's newest state, would break off from Sudan to form Africa's 54th state. And so 50 years on, all African states are independent. These celebrations for Africa at 50 became the melting pot for Africa's diverse cultures as tributes to Africa's forefathers and freedom fighters flowed.
From Haile Selassie to Jomo Kenyatta, from Kwame Nkrumah to Julius Nyerere, and many across this continent stood together, shoulder to shoulder, and changed the narrative of our continent. And the narrative became that of freedom, independence, self-determination, and a new Africa.
Selfless leaders who sincerely believed that leadership was about sacrifice, and that is why I viewed them as my heroes and friends.
Why did we survive colonialism and slave trade? It was because of our strong genes. Africans don't die easily. And it was also because of our advanced civilization.
It is said that women from all over the continent came by road, rail, and horseback to ensure that the cause of liberation did not exclude them.
The approach to Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance has taken different forms over the past 50 years, but the shared notion of a united or politically integrated continent, complete with its own economic institutions, remained.
Our objective is African Union now. There is no time to waste. We must unite now or perish. Not one of us working singly or individually can successfully attain the fullest development. Unite, we must. That is Kwame Nkrumah 50 years ago. And I think that statement is as relevant now as it was relevant then.
While we acknowledge the progress we have made so far, I strongly believe that history beckons us to seize the opportunity that destiny offers today in order to fulfill the dreams of our forefathers.
Africa is not going to be about conflict, about corruption, about insecurity, or neocolonialism. That Africa is going to be about trade, about business, about investment, about inter-Africa trade, about economic integration and economic transformation. That is the new narrative for our continent.
While Africa's journey has been incredible, challenges abound. Some nations are still experiencing internal strife.
As the people of Kenya, that we have contributed our men and women at the front line in Somalia alongside other 15 countries to stand with the people of Somalia so that they too can have a government and can determine their future. grow their economy to eliminate the conflict in that country. That is the Africa that needs to assert itself and to tackle the challenges that face us as a continent, because together we can.
And now Africa marks these Jubilee celebrations, conscious that it has built a strong voice in the international arena and its decisions have global impact. Sylvia Chebet, Citizen Weekend.